Hey, Sam, how do you feel about Nebraska seeing another volunteer Pickens and it's not Carl?
Oh, you mean Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be terrific.
I
Yep,
mean,
and they're on ABC. I mean, kudos to Disney or ESPN or whoever for understanding that Nebraska Tennessee is the biggest draw. They are. Like, there's a lot of people who will want to watch Jordy Bahl. She's the best player in the country. That was obvious this weekend.
and I mean, but Pickens is
Yeah,
like Senora Smoke, though.
yeah, she's good.
I wonder what's
No, they're a very very good team, and Nebraska's going to have its hands full. But I'll tell you what, I think Nebraska can do it, and I think they have a great chance of winning down there and going to the College World Series where they would almost certainly play
Oh, that
Oklahoma.
place is going to be raucous.
Mm-hmm.
I
It'll
think
be a lot of fun.
so. This is really silly, but just having watched this team for so long and kind of knowing how they're built, you know what I think it's going to come down to? They're going to have to pick it fairly clean. I think because if they have a little bit of a bugaboo, it would be on the defensive metrics. That's just me, but I don't know how Tennessee's going to play. But I'm trying to figure out: do I need to ask AI what the equivalent to throwing 77, 78 from 46 feet would be, and at 60 feet 6 inches, or do we already know that?
I don't know.
Sam,
No,
it's
I have
it's
no idea.
it's triple digits. It's got to be I don't know 104 maybe 103 104 something like that.
So 70 goes to 90.
So 80 would be 100. No, not
I'd say
necessarily.
it's not quite, but I'm working on it.
All right. Anyway, hey Sam. Gosh, now that led me to another question. How would you like to be Paul Skeens stuck in Pittsburgh? No,
It's
I'm not going to say that.
like mid hundreds.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like 104, 106.
DB, let's go. Sam, I'm not touching that. I'm just saying.
It's like the old. It's like remember Damon will remember this. The old fast pitch leagues.
Oh
In the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
Around Omaha, and obviously slow
Those
pitch
guys
was really
were
good too. So,
legit.
oh yeah. So like Pencor and um, yeah, and slow pitch was incredible too. So like Omaha used to be basically one of the great softball hubs of America.
Dude, how do you think Nolan Sailor's got to be so good? Like his dad is in the softball Hall of Fame.
Right. So yeah, I mean,
good
77
rate.
miles an hour is really something. You get to the point where you're pitching so fast that the ball's almost unhittable. So
What?
yeah, I mean, Nebraska has its hands full. That's for sure. It's going to be a hard regional, but they've beaten Tennessee once already this year. They can do it. They can win two in Knoxville, and I give them a great chance. You have the best player in the country on your team, and where she goes, the team that goes with her can win it. Can win a lot.
Player of the year or no?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, me too.
I think so. But you know what? I don't know what coaches will do. I don't know. They may look at what happened in Big Ten play, or they may not. They may discount the Big Ten, and they may, I mean, you start doing stuff like playing games with numbers, and you're like, well, they didn't play UCLA and Oregon in the regular season. I mean, you can do that stuff all day, and it's I mean, that's what the sport has almost become. It's
Well,
like
I just heard that about Creighton baseball with no quad
Oh,
one
my God.
opponents, and I'm like,
Oh.
that's a 2-bid league, guys. The Big East is a 2-bid league this year. Knock it off.
You just sometimes you wonder, like, if when sometimes it feels like we try so hard on the analytics stuff that you can almost get lost in it. Creighton belongs in the NCAA tournament. That's to me, that's a no-brainer, but they may not make it, and that would be unfortunate if they're not able to. But if they win their league tournament, they're automatically in, and I think they should be in anyway. We're talking about a team that
Just
can
don't
win
lose
40
to St.
games
John's.
and not make it. Huh?
Just don't lose to St. John.
Well, right. Well, I don't know.
You don't think?
I feel, yeah. Oh no, I don't. I honestly, I feel like they're going to have to win the whole thing. I don't think that the tournament committee is going to give them any break because last year they put in Indiana and everybody lost their minds, and like I think we're just increasing. So anyway, back to the softball thing. Like with Jordy, yeah, she's the best player in the country. could somebody conjure up some stats that figure it out some other way? And they can, but nobody's doing what she's doing, and doing it for a team that, again, she has propelled them. I mean, that's a good team that's around her. It's not Texas or Oklahoma, she really has lifted them up another level. So we'll see what happens with that award. I certainly hope she gets that, and I think most people think she deserves it.
So first Super Regional in a decade for Nebraska. Like, do you have a equivalent in terms of like a breakthrough for this team, what that means or what it would look like in another sport? Like, is that equivalent to, Nebraska football making it back to the Big Ten championship game? Like, what's the equivalent of getting back to the Super Regional?
The baseball team doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, the baseball team doing that, I think that would be a hell of an achievement too. I think, but let's be clear that
even though the baseball team has played in the CWS in the last 25 years,
so have the women. They've played in it at least twice and maybe 3 times. Yeah. So yeah. Like I think. Now, to be clear, the softball.
No, Sam. I'm saying it the other way. Like, I'm saying I don't know if baseball would be the equivalent. Not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I think it would be a big deal if the baseball team did that. I think people around here would get really energized. And one year it'll happen. It'll probably be a year we don't expect. On the flip side of the coin, Jordy Bahl, we expected this. Like, so once she got to this team and she was healthy, the expectation was, go to a regional, win it, get to the Super Regional. And then I think, I think they're going to win it. So I think they're going to go to the College World Series this year.
Imagine if Jordy doesn't get hurt year one. They would have really been able to ride her momentum.
Well, yeah. I mean, last year they would have been probably better. And I'm not trying to knock anybody on this current team, but obviously they had an incredible, Andrews last year. But it doesn't make any difference. She got hurt last year. The reality is she's playing now. She's got great hitters all around her. They've done an incredible job of hitting home runs. Obviously, she's a big part of that with 22 or whatever she has. I think they're going to the College World Series, and it's going to be an incredible story.
I love it.
That sport needs her to do this. Like, I'm just telling you, like, the sport needs her to do this.
Even though it's one of the best collegiate sports to watch on television. It is fantastic, right? We've been doing this for however many years. We go on the road and we be watching AAU basketball. We go back to the rooms or to the lobbies. We're watching college softball. Now, part of it is because my buddy, I mean, it's 6-7 years ago. He's a big Oklahoma honk, and so it was always turned on the television. But like for television viewing, softball is, I don't know. I mean, it's college football-esque. I get it. It's blasphemy, but
and the Women's College World Series is one of the best championships they have. It's one of the best championships.
It's amazing.
Has.
And I love the men's college. I mean, I love the men's College World Series, but we would have both agreed at times the games get
slow,
very long.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of maneuvering, and especially early in the series. When you get to the championship series, the games are pretty special in the College World Series. Even though the one Florida LSU game was 24-4, but like they get pretty special. But when you get into the latter half of the second week, but the Women's College World Series, it's electric from the very beginning. Again, the sport needs her though. That's why they're putting her on ABC. She is an unbelievable presence, and her fire and her ability to
she's been able to do interviews since the 8th grade too. So I mean,
yeah, she's really talented at the whole thing, and she's all business, and so everybody's, that's why you put her on ABC, is because she's just because there's a chance Tennessee can win the series. They could win the series in 3, and it could be nail biters all the way, and Nebraska acquits itself really well. So they're like, well, if we have a chance to put Jordy Bahl on TV, on national TV on ABC for 2 days, let's do it. And they will. And I think that's to their credit that they know and understand her star power.
The cool thing for me, and you're going to be like, DB, you're kind of the sentimental backstory honk, but the whole Coach Ravel, coming under fire, Moose hanging in there, She'd lost the commitment of ball late. There were a couple girls in that offer era, right? And cooler heads prevailed. And here we are. It's come back around, and now they're mutually benefiting. Like, I quietly, like, personally think it's an incredible story.
It is. It's a really good story. Obviously,
and good on Bill Moose.
He chose not to let her go.
Yep.
Yeah, and he you know, it was obviously an important moment for the program, and here we are now. You know, that was, you know, when you think about it, that was a long time ago. That was 2019, 2018, when all that stuff happened. And so, like, yeah, he stuck in there, and here we are. And, you know, obviously Jordy didn't want to get hurt last year. That was devastating. The fact that she'll be here another year may be, you know, just even more of what they need. She's again, a special athlete. We haven't had a ton of people and players like her. And, you know, I almost feel like this season has snuck up on some fans, though, because Nebraska softball was not blessed with a great home schedule. They just weren't. Like, they didn't get UCLA didn't come to town, right? So they didn't necessarily get the best teams coming to town. Next year they probably will. They'll get an Oregon or a UCLA. And so I think, you know, they were beating some teams out there at the park so badly that I feel like people are now coming around to, oh man, this is special. So you're going to see this thing really take off this week. You're going to see everybody talking about it, and everybody's going to try to watch ABC, especially on Saturday. It'll be the talk of the town. It's happened quickly, but now that it's happened, you can tell that the interest level is going to go way up. That's
our guy, Sam McKewon from the Omaha World Herald. Sam, appreciate the time.
I feel rushed, Sam.
All right. All right. Take care, guys.
We'll talk to you next week. That's Sam McKewon from the Omaha World Herald.
We'll get him on the comeback.
Yeah.
Would you rather be Nebraska softball seeing Pickens or Nebraska baseball seeing JD?
I'd rather be Nebraska softball because I think they're just better.
Fudge, man. They got a tough one. He can flat out shove.
Yeah. Nebraska softball is just better than Nebraska baseball is.
I think they only threw 80 pitches on Thursday.
So I would rather – also, you know, we talked about this, like what one player has the most impact on a sport. Like softball pitcher, if you're hitting two and you're Jordy Bahl like that, I know there's not a lot of those.
You don't think it's hyperbole?
I don't think. I mean,
I don't want you to be prisoner of the moment.
No, I think that's the only.
We have seen some and I get it.
Yeah.
You're not a softball honk.
I'm not a hockey honk either, and I said goalie. So,
but we have seen some spectacular. You know who's really good with softball?
Who?
T. Mose.
Oh, sure, because the Oklahoma guy. So we probably.
Surprise! Like we're going back to the boys being in like 5th, 6th grade.
Yeah.
Where this dude, hey man,
locked in.
Let's turn on softball.
Yeah, the reason I want to be careful is because I know that there's not hardly any Jordy Bahls out there. So to have that impact on offense and defense, I get it.
You want the crazy thing is?
What's that?
You know, she hadn't been hitting since high school.
Yeah, because Oklahoma didn't let her hit, right?
No. And I asked on the pod, you know, and I asked her if she missed it.
Yeah,
this was almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And she was just like, you know, I'm just going to do what's asked of me. And pitching is hard enough. So, because this was going into her freshman year at Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. She said, pitching is hard enough at this level. And she basically was just like, you know, I'm just trying to get in where I fit in.
She's deferred to their expertise you know. But yeah, there's not, I mean, she went 5 for 5 with 4 dingers over the weekend. You know how dumb that is?
The second to last one, I just laughed. I was like, come on.
But that, like, and so I understand that there's not very many of those. It's much easier for more hockey goalies to go on a heater. But if you do have a Jordy Bahl type where she can, I mean, you pitch almost
you have seen softball's done it.
Yeah.
Softball.
Yeah, there's been some.
We've seen Fernandez. We've seen Mendoza. We've seen Jenny Fent. We've seen like these phenoms just close the door the minute they toe the rubber, or people you just don't want to pitch to.
Yeah.
You know, but 6 of the top 10 seeds losing in softball,
wild.
I thought it's
aggressive,
unbelievable.
Yeah. because Liberty knocked off A&M. That was the biggest one.
Yeah, because
right?
A&M was undefeated.
And then
it went down to the wire. Did you finish did you watch the 14-11?
Yeah.
The guy was drunk.
Yeah, it was. So were those Southeast.
You start going to the bully in softball, and it's like, that's why I wanted Nebraska to get if they could develop a 1B.
Yeah.
But I still think I want them to be able to pick it a little cleaner, though, because it's gonna show up.
Those Southeast versus LSU games were kind of drunk too.
Yeah.
They were something else.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So they got out there as well. It was it was a fun weekend to watch the regionals out there. We'll start Big Ten baseball tomorrow with Nebraska, Michigan State as the late game right there at 6.
Want to be a baller.
Shot caller. 20-inch rims.
20-inch, 20 home runs.
Oh.
20 home run club. Can you
right.
work that into the lyrics? Want to be a baller, shot caller, 2020 club, aim for the holler. Oh, I could probably get it.
There you go.
Do it her way.
Nailed it.
I feel a note of sarcasm.
No, you got it.
I don't feel encouraged.
You should be encouraged.
Oh, no. It's like you can't even do that right. Like, what's so hard about being nice?
Well, now that you're in my head, I'm going to sound.
Because it's all in my head. # fail. That did not sound encouraging. Oh, hey, great.